Hi, today we're turning our favorite childhood sweet, White Rabbit candies, into pudding. There are three components to this dish. We're going to first do the White Rabbit pudding, and then the Matcha Syrup, and then we're going to do the White Rabbit pearls. First, we're going to whisk the eggs until they're evenly combined. There's no need to use a hand mixer as we don't want to incorporate too much air into the mixture. We're going to keep the rice wrapping around the candy as that will offset the sweetness a little bit. When you put the candy into the milk, make sure to continuously stir so that the candy doesn't stick to the pot. Once all the candy has melted and the milk is at a simmer, then we're ready to take it off the heat and pour it into the egg. Make sure that when you pour the milk mixture into the eggs that you don't pour it all in at once, otherwise it will scramble the eggs, and make sure to continuously stir as you're pouring the milk in. We're then going to pour the mixture through a sieve to get rid of any egg whites that haven't been fully combined, which will give the pudding a smoother texture. So I'm pouring these into pudding cups, but if you don't have these, then you can also use bowls or cups. Just make sure that they're heat proof. There's a few ways to cook this, but I'm using a steamer because I don't have a pan that's deep enough to hold all my pudding jars. So if you do have a pan that's big enough to fit all your pudding jars, then you don't need to use a steamer. Just put the jars inside the pan and then fill it with hot water, making sure it covers about 3/4 of the jar, and then set it over low heat. For the matcha syrup, we just need to melt some sugar in a pot with water, and once the liquid has turned syrupy, we can add in the matcha powder and then give it a good mix, and our matcha syrup is done. For the pearls, we also don't need to remove the rice wrapping around the candy. Place the candy into a pan with the water and continuously stir until it starts to melt. If the dough seems to be too sticky, then add a little bit more tapioca flour and continue mixing. And if your dough seems to be too dry, then just add a little bit more hot water to it. The dough should feel a little bit like Play-Doh. It's a little bit tacky, but it doesn't actually stick to your hands or the surface that you're working on. You can also choose to roll the dough flat instead of into a cylindrical shape. If you're rolling it flat, all you need to do is then cut the dough into small squares and then put the squares in between your fingers and roll it into a pearl shape. How big you want your pearls is up to you. If you want a larger pearl, then just cut a bigger portion of the dough before rolling it into a pearl. There will most likely be an excess of pearls after using it for the pudding. What you can do is just store these in the freezer and then place it into boiling water when you're ready to use it. Now that all our components are ready, we just need to assemble it together and we've got our white rabbit pudding. Thanks for watching and please remember to like and subscribe.